Hey guys, welcome to the first week of Trainquil. I've got my friend John here to help me demonstrate some of the fundamental exercises and what to focus on when you're training. We'll be starting off with workout 1, which focuses on the upper body, and then we'll move on to workout 2, which focuses on the lower body. And if you're training at home, don't stress, we'll be showing you some at-home alternatives if you prefer to do this all at home. Let's get into it. To start, we'll be doing some dynamic stretches to loosen up the joints, get the blood flow going. For the upper body, we'll be doing some arm swings, side to side, back and forth, as well as some arm circles. Really focusing on the stretching and getting the extra mobility out of the joints. Just a few minutes of this. Now, if you're training at the gym, your first exercise is an incline press. So that could be with dumbbells, Smith machine, or barbell. I don't have a barbell here, but the principle is exactly the same. Set up your bench to about 30 degrees. Doesn't need to be exact, just close enough. Start with some warm-up sets, gradually building up. If this is your first time, you'll need to experiment a little bit. Begin light, just a few kilos per dumbbell or more if you're stronger, and do 5 to 10 controlled reps. If it's too easy, increase the weight, resting about a minute between each warm-up set. In your first week, I want you to push until true failure. That's the point where you physically can't lift anymore. Somewhere between 5 and 10 reps will be perfect. And that is an RPE of 10. You won't train at max effort every time, but you need to know where it is. Once you hit failure, that's your first working set. Rest up to 3 minutes and go again with the same or slightly less weight, pushing close to failure again. To start the exercise, place your dumbbells on the top of your quads just above your knee. Bring one knee up to lift it up. Hold it to the side and do the same for the other dumbbell. Then slowly lean back into the bench while holding the weights. From there, we'll keep our elbows somewhere between 45 and 90 degrees, with the dumbbells just touching the front of your shoulder. This is your starting position. Then push upwards all the way, controlling the weight. Lower the weight again over 2 or 3 seconds back to the starting position. Pause at the bottom briefly, then drive up with power again. Repeat this, focusing on tempo, getting that full range of motion. Once you're close to your limit, control the weight slowly back onto your quad again, and then lower the weight after that. If you're absolutely fatigued and need to drop the weight, just watch out for other people and make sure you don't smash your phone. If you're using a barbell, you won't be able to go as low as dumbbells, but just aim for your mid-chest and use the same tempo that John's showing here. For the at-home option, we'll be doing incline push-ups. All you need is something sturdy you can lean on, like a bench, couch, or chair, so it generates around a 30-degree lean. If your surface feels too soft or wobbly like a couch, that's okay, but it helps to put it against a wall for extra stability. To start, place your hands slightly wider than shoulders, and then straighten your body into a plank position. Keep your core tight. Slightly lower your chest towards the surface by bending your elbows. Once you reach the bottom, pause for a moment, then push back up strongly. Just like with the weights, you'll go close to your limit when you feel like you can't do another good quality rep. If full push-ups feel too hard, drop on your knees and do the same movement. Still too tough, that's fine. Focus on the lowering portion as slowly and as controlled as you can, then reset and repeat. The negative phase builds strength fast, so you'll eventually be able to do a full push-up. You can also do regular floor push-ups if you prefer, but they work your chest slightly differently. The incline helps target the upper chest more and makes it more easier to start. Either way, pick what works for you and build from there. For the back exercise at the gym, you've got 2 options here, either the lat pull down or the seated cable row. Lat pull down is a vertical pull, great for building width. The cable row is a horizontal pull, better for overall back thickness. We'll eventually both rotate in because they're great exercises, but for now just pick one that you enjoy more. I personally prefer cable rows because I can really focus on the squeeze and the stretch. Start with a few light warm-up sets and then move on to 2 working sets of 5 to 10 reps, pushing close to failure. Focus on control here. Pull smoothly over 1 or 2 seconds, squeeze your shoulder blades at the lowest part, then slowly go back to the starting position over 2 to 3 seconds. Don't rush the concentric or the rising motion now. That's where a lot of the growth happens. the cable rows, sit tall with a slight lean forward at the start to feel a good stretch. As you pull, lean slightly back, no swinging, tuck your elbows in, chest up, and really squeeze your back at the furthest point. Avoid overreaching or rounding your back. Good posture makes all the difference. For the lat pull down, start with the bar above your head with hands just wider than shoulder width. You can do overhand or underhand, just personal preference. Pull down with slightly leaning your back a little bit backwards. Bring the bar close to your chest and squeeze your back again. Slowly let it up and control the concentric while leaning forward again. Keep the weight on the cables at all time just to keep the muscles under tension. Whether it's rows or pull down, it's about the quality reps with control, not just moving the heavy weights. For the home back exercise, I recommend using a kettlebell. They're extremely versatile and great for all the exercises that we're covering today. We'll be doing a one-arm kettlebell row using a sturdy bench, chair or couch for support. You start by placing one knee and the same side hand on the platform, the other foot on the ground. Keep your back straight, core tight, chest up and face forward. Avoid rounding your shoulders here. To start, we'll grab the kettlebell with your free hand and row it by driving your elbow all the way back along your side. Squeeze your shoulder blade at the top, then lower it slowly over 2 to 3 seconds. Work towards controlled failure, then switch sides. Quality reps, full range of motion, no rushing here. If you don't have a kettlebell, you can try inverted rows under a sturdy table. Grip the edge with both of your hands a little past shoulder width, feet out in front, body straight. Pull your chest up to the table, squeeze at the top, and lower yourself slowly. If it's too hard, you can bend your knees or bring your feet closer together. If this is still too challenging, you can just focus on the negative or the lowering motion. Work close towards failure, controlling tempo, and be really careful here. This isn't my first pick as every table is not stable enough, but it does work if you're extra careful. Do yourself a favor though and get a kettlebell. You'll be able to do every workout at home. And if you want to try resistant band assisted pull-ups, if you have a pull-up bar nearby, that's a great option too. I'm not covering it here, but feel free to reach out if you want help with it. Alright, that's upper body workout done. Now on to workout 2 for the lower body. As always, we'll kick off with some dynamic stretches. Start with a few minutes of leg swings, forward and backwards, then side to side to open up the hips, then go on to some slow controlled body weight squats. With the squats, you'll plant your feet about shoulder width apart or whatever feels more natural for your stance. Toes can point out slightly. Keep your heels firmly on the ground, chest up, core braced. If it helps with balance, hold your hands out in front. Squat down with control, pause briefly at the bottom and then back up smoothly. Remember to breathe in the way down and then exhale steadily on the way up. These are just warm-ups, so don't fatigue yourself here. At the gym, our main lower body movement is going to be the leg press or some squat variant. So leg press and hack squats are the best options here because they're really great compound exercises. They really let you focus on the power with less stability involved. Any squat variation is still great and lets you develop more balance as well. So make sure to start off with a few lighter warm-up sets before your working sets. For the leg press, set your feet about shoulder width apart on the platform with your toes pointed slightly outwards. Go for a more neutral position where your feet stays flat and focus on driving through your heels. If you want more quad emphasis, place your feet a little bit lower on the platform. For more glute and hamstring, set them a little bit higher. Either way, your heels stay pressed onto the platform throughout. So to start the exercise, lower the platform under control until your knees hit about 90 degrees or a little bit deeper if your mobility allows. Keeping your lower back flat against the pad, your neck is a little bit braced, your core's tight. On the way up, drive with control. Remember to breathe throughout the exercise. As you lower, inhale steadily, and then as you push up, exhale steadily. You can lock out your knees at the top to catch your breath if you need. So focus on 2 to 3 seconds of lowering, pause briefly, then press up strong over 1 or 2 seconds. Now, legs can be exhausting because they're such large muscle groups, so you can Go a little bit faster on the tempo on these, just focus on good control and good form. We're also going to be doing a couple more reps compared to the upper body, so we're going to be aiming for about 10 to 15 with an RP of about 8 to 9, so that we don't feel like our heads are going to explode. So make sure you're well hydrated before this workout. For the squat variation you can do at the gym or home, we'll be doing either goblet squats or Bulgarian split squats. For the goblet squats, grab a kettlebell and hold it at chest height, or just do body weights if you don't want to use weights. Stand with your feet about shoulder width apart or just slightly wider, whatever feels natural. Keep your heels planted and your chest tall. Squat down under control until your hips are at least parallel to the floor. Pause briefly if you can, and then stand back up with power. If you want more focus on your quads, you can elevate your heels slightly on some weights or a wedge to go on your toes. If regular goblet squats start to feel too easy, try doing some pulse squats. So instead of standing all the way up, come about halfway or 2/3 and go back down, keeping constant tension under the legs. These burn fast, even with light weights, and just show how effective tempo and controlled reps can be. Aim for about 10 to 15 reps, again close to failure. The other great squat variant you can do at home or the gym is the Bulgarian split squats, a killer for leg strength and balance. Here's how to set it up. Sit on the edge of a sturdy bench, chair or couch. Extend both legs straight out in front of you so that your heels are on the ground. The spot where your heels land, that's roughly where your front foot starting point is when you stand up. If you don't feel too comfortable in that position, you can adjust it slightly forward or backwards, just don't go too extreme. From there, stand up on one foot at that spot, rest your back foot on the bench behind you. You want your front foot far enough forward that when you squat, your knees stay just behind your toes and your heels are still flat. Grab a kettlebell and hold it at chest height, just like a goblet squat. Lower yourself slowly, bending your front knee until your back knee nearly touches the ground. Inhale as you lower, keeping your chest up and core braced. Pause briefly at the bottom and then drive back up powerfully as you exhale. Stick with our usual tempo with 2 to 3 second descent, then push up in about 1 or 2 seconds. Keep your front foot flat and don't let your knee cave in. Make sure your hips stay square, no twisting or leaning. Do all the reps on one leg before switching sides and take your time with these. They really hit hard even with the light weight. Same as always, controlled reps, solid form, push close to failure. You should be aiming for 10 to 15 reps of both exercises with up to 3 minutes rest in between working sets. For the last exercise in our leg session, we're going to target the hamstrings. This is important to balance out the heavy quad and glute work that we've already done for the day. If you're at the gym, leg curls are great and easy exercise, but the other options are still very solid and easily done at home. In this video, we're using the lying leg curl machine. So we set the pad just above your heels and make sure your knees line up pretty close to the pivot point. We'll curl the weight up over 1 or 2 seconds, all the way to your bum and squeeze at the top. Then lower it slowly over 2 to 3 seconds, keeping your hips down and avoid arching. Really let your hamstrings do the work here. Make sure you start out with very low weights with these, and make sure you touch the top, otherwise you might be going a bit too heavy. If you don't have access to a leg curl machine, don't worry, Romanian deadlifts or RDLs are absolutely great alternative, whether you're at the gym or home. So when we do these RDLs, you can either use a kettlebell or a set of dumbbells. Stand with your feet hip width apart, knees slightly bent, hinge at the hip and lower the weight in front of your legs until you feel a stretch in the hamstrings. You don't need to go all the way down, just until you feel a deep stretch in the hamstrings. Then return by standing up, driving through your hips and squeezing through your glutes. Control your tempo, slow on the way down, steady on the way up. Make sure you breathe properly and keep the weights close to your body with your spine neutral throughout. Another solid home option is the single leg glute bridge. So we just lie on our back here with one foot flat on the floor and the other foot extended or on top of the other foot. Drive through your planted heel to lift up your hips. Squeeze through your glutes at the top, and again lower slowly all the way back down. These are simple but very effective, and they really fire up your hamstrings and glutes when we're done with control. Pick whatever variation works for you, and like always, focus on quality reps, tempo, and getting close to failure. That's workout 2 complete. In the coming weeks we'll layer in more targeted exercises, but this is a really strong foundation. Whether you're training at home or in the gym, what matters most is that you showed up. Focus on your form, control your tempo, and push with intent. You don't need to force results, they'll come when you train with purpose and stay consistent.